Okay, so this is the third video. We're going to take a look at making the front legs for sure. So if we look at our chair, the front legs from the side view, from the front view, and they look to be straight up and down, and so did the back legs. If you wanted to get fancy, you could have curved back legs. If you rock back on a chair like this with the legs so far forward, you tend to fall over backwards and hurt yourself. So, okay, so we're going to take a look at that and how to do that. So from this perspective, we want to draw a sketch on the bottom. So create your sketch right on this face here. And you can leave it on or you can turn it off. If you want to turn the base off, it's that one, and the cushion. We still have the outline. If we leave the base on, we could actually do something called creating a projection. So under the Create menu, you go to Projection and you can click on the material. And the reason that you would do that is that when you do turn your base off, then you've got basically lines that you can extrude. So now we want to draw a leg in this corner. And so the best bet might be this particular one where it's the corner-to-corner rectangle. You could overdraw it if you want. I don't know if you can measure here well. So I think this should be 38.1. So we could actually change that dimension. So if you click on this here, and we go 38.1, that will shrink it to be the same size. Now, we did use I think it was the offset tool that we used to make this. So it should be the same in both directions, so 38.1. So we can do the dimension again for the side and pull that up. Now we used 1.5 inches, but we now know that it's 38.1 millimeters. So that is kind of a convenient way to do that. Typically we put our fillets in on afterwards. And the other thing is, if you're actually going to make this chair, you might want to put some sort of dowels in there that would be structurally joining these two components together. So if you wanted to add a circle in that, you could. So if I've accidentally closed my sketch, so I can do a right click down here and I can open up my sketch again. And if I wanted to add a dowel, or two dowels for that matter, you can hover and you can find the middle. And if you wanted to do, let's say, a 1/2 inch dowel, that would be 0.5 and your units would be inches. And that would be a dowel in the middle, and we can show that just for adding structure to your wood designs. At this point we could finish our sketch, I believe. We can take a look at it from the side. So there's, if you hold down on Shift, you can turn your object. And if you want to turn your cushion on just to sort of make sure you know which way you're going, you can do that. If you don't, you can keep it off. So at this point, we might want to leave that hole out of it because we're going to draw the full length of this chair leg. We do want to have a new component. That way we can assemble it, and when we're doing animation, it'll be easier to do an exploded view, and you'll learn more about that later. So we've got new, and we're checking our design. We could add this corner or leave this corner off. It's kind of up to you. We're probably going to end up using a fillet later on. Now at this point, how long do you want to make the leg is the question, right? So if you look at the instructions, I'll just bring them over. So it says that a chair is typically 53 centimeters tall, so that would be 530 millimeters. Now that's to the base of the chair. So for this example, we certainly wouldn't have that full measurement. So if I was to estimate, we could probably go 450, and we can change it later if we want. So we'll start with that and we'll see what happens here. we can always make it smaller or shorter very easily. So that's our first leg. And the cool thing with this is if you want to mirror it, so we're in the three-dimensional space or solid space, so let's see if we can find the mirror command. So if we mirror this, we can choose our body. Now this is a component, so we'll look for a component. And we want to select the object. So we can either do it in the sketch or we can do it on the ribbon on the left. And then we just need a mirror line. So which one of these surfaces works out? So it's actually this plane right here that would help, I believe. So we hit escape once to get out of our orbit. We're going to select the mirror, which is here. So now we've got two of them. And just to confirm that we're going in the right direction, we could turn our cushion on. And so it actually ended up being in the wrong direction. So I have chosen the wrong plane to select. So I'm going to keep it there. I'm going to turn my cushion off. And I'm going to turn the base off. And I'm going to hit escape to get out of my orbit. I'm going to get rid of the plane. I'm going to select a new plane. You can actually do it from this right here. And you can see that they highlight. That was the one we used last time, so this will be the one that we want to use. So that should actually work. So click OK. We orbit around. Our legs look ridiculously long. And so what we can do from this point is we can measure from the top of this cushion to the bottom of the leg. And so this is 600. I don't know if you can see that, but it's 623. So I'm just going to jot that down on paper, 623. And we were shooting for 530. So if we do the quick math on that, we basically made it 93 millimeters too long. So we'll keep that here. So if you just look around, they do look weird. So we're going to go to this extrude right here, which was the length of the leg. So we're going to edit features there. And instead of 450, we're going to actually subtract 93. And that changes both legs, hopefully. And that's a way to do an edit in your design. So this space down here, and we'll hit escape, and then we can label these. So if we do a right click on it and rename, so this is going to be the front right leg of chair. And if we turn this one off, that one would be the front left leg. Okay. And of course we're going to color them because that's fun. So we still like our cherry, so we're going to add the cherry to it. The other thing that we might want to do is add a fillet to the front. Now, if we click on fillet, we zoom in, there seems to be kind of a fillet naturally on there. But let's do both of them at once. We're going to bring that in. Doesn't seem to like that. So one of the odd things is you can actually delete the fillet. So hit escape. See if we can delete that edge. Delete. Okay, so that gives us a chamfer. Let's see if we can delete the chamfer. Okay, so now by deleting what was there, we can click on this, and now we've got a chance to put a fillet on there. So let's go with the 10 mil fillet. And let's see if it showed up on the other side. So this is a good opportunity to delete that twice. So you can sort of see, we can just pan here, that we've got a triangle. And for some reason that just showed up. I don't know why. So if I click on it and delete that, so now I've got back to sort of a chamfer. If I delete that, it becomes a shape. So we're going to click on that. We're going to put the 10 mil. You could type in the 10 mil. And then we'll take a look at what happens. Now you notice that I actually ended up putting the holes in the chair, which if you're going to put casters on would be great, but it just shows that it's easy to make a mistake. So now the same thing here, we could delete these shapes, and that one seemed to be easier, and then we can click on that, and we probably want to have this 10 mils as well, and so that lines up really nice. And if we orbit over to the other one, so we're going to hit escape to get out of our move tool. We're going to click on the objects that we don't like, and so now we've got a very hard line, and we can put that 10 mil fillet on there, and I think that finishes it. So we've got our legs. You can see that they're a seam, and the good thing about having a component is that you can click on the leg and you can actually move it, and you can move it downwards. So, and then you can cancel out of it. Okay, so we're going to stop at this point. We've got the front legs done. The back legs are going to be similar. We might try to put a different shape on them just for fun, but we're about halfway there for making our chair. Okay.